Hey everybody, we are back with another episode of the Nintendo Pipeline, and this week is all about indies. So we got a lot to talk about, so let's keep this brief. I am CMM1215, also known as Clay. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
Sure, I'm Jared, also known as One Up Muffin on the Discord.
And this is Barry, better known by Raccoon.
All right, and special this week, we have a lovely guest joining us. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Noise. I'm Noise. I'm from the Discord. And
Hell
I'm
yeah.
Noise.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm
yes.
talking
Hello,
So,
everybody.
so Noise
your
is
boy.
joining us. So yeah, we had an indie world direct this past week. We're going to be talking all about indies this week. So what are you guys playing currently, indie wise?
The indie I've been going with recently is not on the Nintendo Switch yet, but is quote perfect for Switch. Is Loop Hero, Loop, not Loot. So Loop Hero is like a roguelite RPG with some idle elements and some tile placement stuff. It's a great mix of genres, and I recommend it. And then
Yeah,
definitely wait for it on Switch if you like playing there.
yeah, I haven't heard much about that. I should probably look into it. I know
It's really
from
neat. I'm getting kind of not bored with it, but I don't know if I'll finish it. It's a long one.
yeah,
It's very unique.
I haven't really been doing much indie stuff lately because I've been destroyed by Animal Crossing and Crash 4, but Shantae 1 and Mighty Gunvolt Burst just showed up at my door today, and I got Mech Extermination Force recently and haven't booted that up yet, so my backlog is just enormous. I'm hoping to jump in on that stuff soon.
What's Mech Extermination Force?
It's if you've played Gunman Clive, it's by the
Oh,
What if
same
you
guy,
haven't?
and it's like pretty much like a boss rush game. Um, it's like giant robots that you're destroying. So I've been curious about it for a bit. It's on sale right now. Don't know if it will be still by the time this goes up, but it should be. And yeah, there's also the Indie World sale too, everybody. So don't forget that. I'm gonna get Goner, I think.
When does that end?
Goner is very cool.
Yeah, I don't know when it ends. I've heard good things about Goner. I don't know when the sale ends though.
Noise. Were you asking what Gunman Clive was? Or
Yes, I have.
it
Wait,
was a
is that like the cowboy sepia
yes.
tone
Yeah.
game?
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. I
Okay,
never
cool.
played it, but it looked really cool.
Yeah, I played both of those and they were fun. Simple, fun, a little weird control wise, but like still good. They also have ducks in them.
That was like
The
one of the
sale
early
ends on
3DS
the
eShop games.
25th. That's when it ends.
Okay, so
Oh, okay,
you
cool.
should have a few days.
Yeah, all of you have time. Don't disappoint us. What if
Raccoon, have you
I
been playing any?
have finally finished Nosa after buying it at launch a little over a month ago, and it is I am not a visual novel guy at all. I have like the attention span of an analogy for something with a short attention span, but this really just kept my focus the entire way through. It's been kind of called like anime Among Us, which is kind of, but like that kind of it does it does a disservice to how much it has to offer in its own right. There's it's single player Wolfman Mafia Among Us type gameplay, but you really do kind of get attached to the characters, and the little tidbits of info that you do learn about them is very fascinating. And I think this cast of characters is probably going to be the most memorable one for me for this, as far as games for this year.
It seems really
Very
neat.
cool.
Like I definitely was drawn to the idea, and I'm also not someone who plays visual novels a lot, so it's on my list.
Yeah,
It
it's
is very
definitely
cool.
not something that I'd be probably interested in playing myself, but I thought it looked really neat, and I know there's a lot of people talking about it on the server, or were when it was coming out.
The best thing about it for me is like I said, my short term memory is terrible. Well, I don't think I said that on the podcast. That's how bad my memory is. But the way the game loop is structured is that you can just get your beginning, middle, and end in as little as 15 minutes or like to 25 minutes, and because it's about time looping, similar to Loop Hero. Not really, but you learn a
Yeah,
little
sort of.
bit of new info each loop, and that's where it gets you, I guess. but you still it has a balance between a long-term incentive for playing, but still that quick fix, so to speak.
Yeah, it seems neat. I guess my thing is I don't really do well. I don't really enjoy many like secret role games. I guess I don't know how to
I feel
describe
you.
them.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Secret role games.
Among Us clones.
Moguses.
Yeah, like, and also I just want to mention that this is not the first time that we've mentioned Among Us on this podcast. I'm very upset.
Welcome to the Among Us podcast, when the podcast is sus.
God, I hate you.
Oh no.
So, has anyone else been playing anything cool before we move on?
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
The best
Minecraft.
indie.
Minecraft.
Oh, no,
Minecraft.
I'm clipping. I'm sorry, Raccoon.
I mean, yeah, that's
Biggest
the
selling
game that keeps on
ever
giving,
made.
right?
Yeah,
Can you tell us about
never
your
knock
Minecraft a little bit? It's really cool.
Minecraft. Oh, train Minecraft?
Yeah, tell us about your trains. They're pretty
Yeah,
cool.
there's
I've
a
seen some
mod.
pictures.
There's a mod for Java called Immersive Railroading, and it puts trains in Minecraft. It's like the worst mod I use on that that build.
Wait, so
too.
the trains are mods?
Yeah, the trains are modded in. They're a mod.
Whoa.
There are a couple like really good mods that I have alongside it that are like just fit better, but I like trains. So
I think
use
it's
the train
underselling
mod.
just how cool Raccoon or Barry's
Yeah.
Minecraft train city is.
Yeah.
It's
Can we-
extremely
Trains are
cool.
far.
Can we just
Yeah,
briefly
trains are-
I
mention
love
that,
seeing
like,
pictures of it.
can we just briefly mention that, like, Barry's, like, remapped this, like, world in depth, like, 3 times, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. I'm
Yes,
almost. I might do a 4th because it's way too big, but
Oh,
I don't want
no.
to talk too much about it. But yeah, it's been a long-term investment.
All right, well, to keep things going, because we got a lot to talk about. We had the Indie World last week. We wanted to talk about some cool indie stuff that got shown during that. I'm going to start because I'm the host and I can. Not something you traditionally see in an indie direct, but hi, it's really I'm really happy to see House of the Dead remake.
Yes.
I love House of the Dead. I heard the Panzer Dragoon one has been better with patches. I still have not gotten around to that, so it's
It
by like
has.
that same team, right? And it has placeholder sounds and stuff, but it looks really cool. It still has that weird B movie like voice acting. The only thing I'm worried about is like, there's no like light gun or like a pointing apparatus for this, so it's hopefully gonna have gyro.
If it doesn't have gyro, it's DOA for me.
Yeah,
But-
same. I'll be very
I have
disappointed.
never played House of the Dead, but what I'm hoping for is that this leads to a new typing of the Dead,
Mm.
which
Classic.
I would love to play.
Yeah, typing of the Dead's great. I bought 2 Dreamcast keyboards so I could play multiplayer typing of the Dead.
That's
So-
amazing.
And, I always forget too, Typing of the Dead 2 never came out in the US. Which is...
I didn't know there was two. I thought it was just
I didn't
one
know
and
either.
overkill.
Yeah, so 2 is House of the Dead 3, but as typing.
Weird.
Yeah, and it's Japan only.
Was it
Uh,
only on Xbox too, or is it on computer?
it's on PC. I know
Okay.
it's on PC. I don't know what else it's on. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
the most unfortunate tragedy of my life. But yeah, there was a lot shown. What else we got?
Yeah, I'd love to highlight Ollie Ollie World. It's like a 2D Tony Hawk game. It's the 3rd in the series. This one has more of like an adventure focus though.
Yeah.
You meet characters, there's multiple paths. I don't know if it's open world, but it's definitely you definitely explore a bit.
Yeah, they were saying like, oh, different levels, and then the way they were kind of framing the game was like, oh, it's an adventure. So I don't really know what the hell's going on there, but it looks neat.
Yeah, in my notes I call it the Monkey Ball Adventure of Ollie Ollie, but hopefully it's better than that one.
I was gonna say, holy crap! I really hope it's not like Monkey Ball Adventure. It looks cool. I've never played the other ones. Like
I
own
recommend them, but I heard there's Switch input lag at least for one. So if
Ooh.
you have another platform, I might actually recommend it somewhere else.
It's livable. It's not ideal, but I've gotten pretty far in the Switch versions of them. I
Yeah.
originally played them on Vita,
Oh,
but the Switch is stomachable.
The Proto Switch.
Yes.
God, who's gonna like be after us for saying that? I have them on Wii U, I believe. I got them from the what was it, that like indie bundle that they had in Humble Bundle
Oh
like
yeah,
an
that was
eternity
cool.
ago. Yeah,
I forgot that was a thing. I still can't believe
Yeah.
that was a thing.
I wish it was a thing again.
Mhm.
Because, ouch, my wallet hurts. um, there's a lot of cool announcements actually. Another one, I don't know why Ollie Ollie World reminds me of it, but maybe because it's just you're constantly moving. Was that Ariel Knights Never Yield? Ariel
Yes.
underscore Knight. Um,
Any indie dev that has a chutzpah to just put their gamer tag on their own as indie game just deserves my attention. And I did look at it, and it is. I tried the demo, and it is really cool. It's dripping with style. It has a very good soundtrack. It's just I don't like making analogies to other games to describe one kind of game, but if you've played Persona and the very beginning, like the start menu, how when you press start and the camera just twists and turns into all these cool angles just for like the options or whatever, it has that going on, and it kind of goes further with that with the intro cutscene. Um, it's a little, it could use a little more polish, I think, going off the demo, but I think it has a lot of cool stuff to offer, and the environmental art is especially really cool.
yeah, it looked really pretty. I didn't get a chance. I downloaded the demo, but I didn't get the chance to play through it yet. But at least based on the showing they had there, my feeling on it immediately afterwards is, oh, this is really cool. This guy's really passionate. It looks fun, but like I wanted to like it more than I did. It just seemed to me like Bit Trip Runner, and like that's fine. But I was just hoping it would be a little more interesting. But I haven't played the demo yet, so
I got Major Cannon, but I mean, they're basically the same. I mean, but Cannibal or whatever
Mhm. That's it.
yeah,
that's the vibes I got from it. Just running off the rooftops with the stuff in the background, kind of chasing at you.
yeah. And I think Raccoon. I think you liked this one, didn't you?
Soundtrack, man.
Yeah,
Any indie game that goes for a soundtrack that's like that, just kind of different.
yeah.
Yes.
So
It
good.
it seemed like really cool just based on the video. I want to listen to the actual thing.
I'm
Um,
not really into runners though, so I don't know if I'm
yeah,
gonna pick it up or try it. Full game
yeah,
is like 6 months out, right? Or is it
yeah.
soon?
I forget, but it's not. Yeah, it's gonna be a
Okay.
little bit at least. And actually, speaking of music, hello TMNT,
Hmm.
um, Shredder's Revenge, which they didn't say this during the indie direct, but T-Lopes is doing the music for it.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah, and I will not say what I was about to say because it's extremely vulgar, but just so you
What?
know, I really like T-Lope's music, and I'm very
Oh,
stoked.
what was
Yeah.
T Lopes known for before this one?
Sonic Mania is the big,
Oh,
big one.
awesome. Yeah.
And I believe, did T-Lopes contribute to Streets of Rage 4's soundtrack? I think he did.
Oh wow, both good
That
soundtracks.
sounds familiar, but
Yeah.
I might have just heard that from you, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't recall. I don't know why. My brain's kind of blanking right now on T-Lopes, but T-Lopes is great.
Yeah.
And yeah, the game itself looks great too. It's by Tribute. It has a lot of the team that worked on Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Um,
Doesn't it also have some people that worked on the Game Boy Advance?
yes.
Yes, which
Yep.
is why it looks so similar to those. Because I had one
Yeah.
of those as a kid, one of the Game Boy Advance Ninja Turtles games, and I was
Yeah.
like, this looks like that.
Yeah. It's specifically.
I never played those, but it really did give off GBA vibes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's specifically TMNT 2007 that they handled on the GBA.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that.
Based on that movie?
Yeah, based on the awful
Yeah.
movie that I will not speak about. Because, God, talk
That
about.
was a good game, though.
Yeah, the game is fine. The movie is just like, God, I want to vomit. But yeah, it looks great. I think what you guys said about the GBA aspect is pretty accurate. Although I think it's like, it reminds me of GBA, but it definitely looks much better.
Yeah.
Oh
Animation
yeah,
is so good, and I'm really liking how they seem to be differentiating the turtles' moves more this time, probably than any other previous. At least out of like the ones that people recognize, like Turtles in Time and stuff like that. They looked a lot more acrobatic and like there was a lot more to do. So I'm hoping it takes that kind of Streets of Rage 4 thing where it's the combat's a bit more developed. Um, But yeah, I think that was probably the highlight of that for me was seeing that trailer and seeing a confirmation for it being on Switch.
Yeah, I
Um,
definitely want to play that. I love those classic arcade Ninja Turtles.
yeah, they're just yeah, they're great. I wish that one had a demo. I know it's that far away out,
Yeah.
but God, if I were greedy, I am greedy. I would be like, please. I know there were a few demos that came out. What's his face? Ariel Knight had a demo. What were the? Did anyone else play any
I
of the other
played
demos?
Chris Tales. I played 10 minutes of it right before this podcast
Mm.
because I wanted to talk about it. So I had not heard of Chris Tales before this, but I think it's been in development for a long time. But it's a 2D hand-drawn RPG. The combat has kind of the Paper Mario-y, like press A when you land on an enemy.
Oh,
The
okay, you've got my
animation just
interest.
is beautiful. There's an opening animation, and then even the in-game art style. It's like 3D, but it doesn't
Yeah,
look 3D at all.
yeah, I
It
noticed
looks like a
that.
cart. It looks like an animated movie. It's beautiful.
Yeah, watching it back, I noticed how striking it was visually.
There's also really good like interface stuff. Like weirdly, the battle text looks kind of like Persona-esque, where it like pops out a little bit. So that
Yeah,
was cool to see.
yeah, that is
But
super
I,
cool.
I only tried 10 minutes. There's also voice acting that seems fine. The writing seems good. I would need to play more of it, but I liked what I played. I don't play that many RPGs, but that's one I would look into.
Yeah, I mean, same. I don't really play RPGs either. Um, but and then there was another one too. Speaking of striking visuals, would be Getsu Fumiden, which um, yeah, wow. So it kind of reminds me visually of Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection of stuff recently. It's kind of like a mix of that and Muramasa, I would say. But like, can we talk about how that game is a sequel to like the most random Famicom game? Like,
I don't know anything about the random family. I know like one thing about it, but like, what is it?
I don't I don't totally know either, to be honest with you. I was not familiar with it before they showed it. I know a lot of people were really excited because it's, a sequel to that, but I honestly have no idea. It
It
just
looked
looks really
visually
cool.
cool. I
Yeah,
would need
it
to read a little more about it.
there were lots of numbers.
Love numbers.
You hit things a lot and numbers pop out.
Numbers
So
are hype.
yeah,
So it's a looter game.
I hope
It's a
Is it
looter.
a
Is
Schluter,
looter slasher.
is that a
A
joke or
Schluter,
I
but
actually
with
don't know.
That's a
swords.
joke. I don't think
Okay,
it's a schlusher.
a solution.
Sure.
I hate that. Um, there was also another one that was visually striking was Aztec Forgotten Gods.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
the movement looked really cool. That was what stood out to me. The art style
Yes.
and the movement. I don't know how anyone else felt.
Do we know if it's like an open world or
Uh, no clue.
okay? Because one of the parts looked very open. It looked neat. I would definitely need to see more of it though.
Yeah, I think the setting is cool.
Yeah.
You don't really see
I
like
definitely want to play more with that. If it runs well on the Switch, I will definitely want to check that out as soon as possible.
yeah, yeah. I would be it would I'm hoping it pans out because that she had what it was like she had the big like gauntlet thing and like I saw like she like homed in on something or like I don't even know. There was some weird stuff going on there. I mean I thought it was cool. Um,
Yeah.
and then I think the other one that was also visually striking, just to kind of keep going with that, the Labyrinth City. Um, Labyrinth City, Pierre the Maze Detective. I had to like actually write that down because I could never remember the name. The one that looks like a Where's Waldo book.
Yeah, it looked like a Where's Waldo thing.
Yeah, I mean I literally know nothing about it, but I am
I looked up
curious.
a little bit of the footage.
Mhm.
There's like one Let's Play on YouTube of it. I think you're just going through a maze, and it looks like Waldo. And I'm not trying to undersell it. That seems genuinely cool. I'm sure there's probably more to it, but yeah, it's mostly figuring out or getting your way through a maze.
Okay, yeah, I can dig that. I didn't realize it was like already out on other stuff. Um, I've never seen it before.
Oh, speaking of stuff that's already out but is coming to Switch, I just want to highlight Fez real quick. It's an old game, so I assume a lot of people have played it. But if you haven't, beautiful 2D, but also 3D, where you can rotate the world to get to new places. It's got an amazing electronic soundtrack by Disaster Peace. Just very, very magical feeling game.
Yeah, I've never played it. I'll consider it. I mean,
I think you'd
I've,
like it. I think you'd dig
yeah,
it.
I probably would. I like platformers and stuff, so I don't know. Did anyone else here play Fez?
I'm going to. I bought it already.
Nice.
Yo,
I started it a few times and
eh,
I don't like it. It's just it was one of those games where it's like, yeah, this is cool. I'm gonna play something else.
That's fair.
yeah, fair. I mean, a lot of this stuff can be very hit or miss, depending.
Indie
Um,
games are very subjective.
yeah, I mean, you know, and
I mean,
Games
I
in
I
think,
love
general, I
Braid,
guess.
and so I don't know. I'd probably like Fez more if I put time to it, but maybe when it's on
yeah,
sale.
yeah, yeah. Braid, I never did those, or I never did like, what was it, Inside or Thomas Was Alone, or like stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I have
I
Um,
liked
Inside
all of
and
those.
Braid on Xbox, and I have not played either yet. I would like to eventually.
did anyone, speaking of like kind of well known indie stuff, did anyone play the original Oxenfree?
I did.
No.
I
Oh, you
had
did.
a flu, and it was over a weekend. I don't remember very much of it, but I do remember enjoying it. Um, it does. I just when I bought it, it just seemed like, oh, some teens are angsty on an island. Okay, cool, whatever. But then it turns out there's some spooky stuff going on, and that's when it kind of caught my attention. It also does some pretty cool stuff with dialogue, like the writing of it's not bad. The writing it didn't astound me, but the way the conversation flows and transitions, it just felt very natural. Like you can get interrupted or interrupt others, and they respond relatively naturally,
Oh,
instead of like
okay.
repeating the same things, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like not. I would say a lot of games get dialogue right, but I've played a lot of indies that certainly get dialogue very wrong, and it can totally ruin the vibe of a game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't tend to like stuff that's extremely narrative heavy, and I like it even less when the narrative is bad.
Yeah.
I hate when stories are bad.
When
yeah.
um when
So Oxenfree
Oxenfree
too, yeah. Yeah.
The
when
story in
Oxenfree
Oxford,
2
it's not bad. It was not. The writing. I mean, I'm of the opinion that there's a lot of games with good stories. There's maybe only 10 games ever with good writing. I know that's a real understatement, but I'm
Yeah.
very yeah. But with that in mind, I do think the story in Oxenfree was. I had fun with it. It was enjoyable.
And what were you saying, Barry, about
Yeah.
Oxenfree?
Oh, this is kind of a fun, embarrassing story. Uh, when the Oxenfree part of the Indie World Showcase was happening, for just a split second, I thought it was a sequel to this indie game I played last year called Jenny LeClue.
Oh,
I heard that's
I
great.
think.
I heard that's cool.
Jenny LeClue is
Wait.
one of my favorite games on Switch.
Yeah, I still need to get that.
Oh, dude,
I think it's on the
one of my
indie sale.
favorites. Is
Oh,
yeah,
is it?
yeah, it totally is.
It's a detective game, or
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I guess so. It's it's kind of similar to something like Phoenix Wright, but you have direct control of your character in like a 2D plane. I don't know what you would call that. It
Yeah.
reminds me of other indie games like Pikuniku is a little bit similar.
would you say it's like
Uh,
Night in the Woods a little bit?
yes, it gets compared a lot. The
Okay.
tone is different,
Sort of like a
but
point and click adventure, kind of, just of the
yeah,
presentation.
it's kind of similar. It's very visually appealing, um, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's quaint. Quaint is probably the best word for it. But it's got a lot of influence from like postmodern literature and themes, and it's kind of campy in a good way, I think.
I love camp, so
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, but like I really like it. So
every time I look at Jenny LeClue, I'm like, oh, it's Carmen Sandiego,
yeah,
like the character. I mean,
Yeah, I want to try it.
she's a little shit. One
yeah.
of the best protagonists in a game because she's a little shit.
Oh God, good.
Instead of being like a perfect character or whatever, like she's kind of annoying and kind of a little shit.
Love
which
it.
is awesome.
Or you basically sold me on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of all to say that they showed Oxenfree 2, I guess.
Yeah. I want to add one more little note to that. I didn't play Oxenfree 1, but I checked my GOG account and it says I own it, so I might try it because the trailer for 2 looked very intriguing.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, spooky.
Definitely like not my
style.
thing. But I know so many people like the original one. So that's
I'm kind of
cool.
surprised it was presented as a one more thing kind of.
Yeah, it was a weird one to end it on, but I was happy.
I'm not trying to knock the game in any way or any of the fans. I'm just I didn't know it had that authority. I guess it had that presence to warrant that Hollow Knight level of hype.
I was expecting the end on a Smash reveal, but this was good.
I was
That's it, no
disappointed
Smash?
it's not Sonic.
No Smash.
Actually, speaking of games that should not be in an indie showcase, there is another game that's called There Is No Game, which would categorically should not be in an indie showcase because it's not a game. What do people? I think Barry had something to say about There Is No Game.
Yeah,
actually.
and it comes more broadly into showing off indie games in general. Because when I saw that, my first thought was, or that part of the indie world, I thought, okay, there are 12 of the games spoiled for me. It's kind of like What the Golf. Have any of you played?
Yeah.
I play What the Golf.
I have not yet.
I really like What the Golf, and a lot of it was hidden, like I didn't know about it beforehand. But every trailer spoils something with a game like that, because they're very similar in having a think outside the box novel thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the ones for There Is No Game was turning the system maybe, or manipulating the loading bar to fill it out, like Gravity Puzzle or whatever. That's spoiled for me. I don't get to figure that out.
Yeah, I don't like that kind of. Does anyone like? There was a Flash version, I guess.
Yeah, it was based on a Flash game, and I assume I know There Is No Game. The console one is a lot different, but I think the structure is similar. So the Flash one is kind of like a point and click adventure game, but with a lot of variety and some other game styles mixed in there. I won't spoil any of that, but definitely, it's online. Give it a try. But it's fully different from the console one.
Like Impossible Quiz. You guys ever play Impossible Quiz?
I think so. Like forever
Yes,
ago.
that I have played.
Yeah. Well, I guess middle school for me. But
I when I looked at it initially, like just watching the thing, not knowing anything about it, it kind of gave me, I don't know if it's, I don't know, something about it gave off a WarioWare vibe to me. In terms
a little
of
bit.
It's kind of its nuttiness.
The humor's
chaos.
good, at least in the Flash one.
Yeah.
If you're interested from like the idea of like a anti-game point and click adventure, I would say look at a few screenshots and then just like try it, because the less you see the better.
Yeah. Is there anything in this Indie Direct specifically that we didn't mention that anyone wants to talk about? Because we covered most of it, right? Really feel like we got most interesting stuff.
the big stuff.
I guess I want to throw a little highlight to the first game they showed, Road 96.
Yeah.
By
I thought that was
Digix
cool.
Art. Yeah, it looks like it's a road trip narrative game, but it's also like
Procedurally generated.
a little bit random.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll live or die based on like how random it is and like how replays feel different.
Yeah. I'm always skeptical with a narrative game. That's
15,000 paths.
I'm like, okay, yeah, tell me where you've heard that one before.
Yeah, okay.
How significant are the paths? It looked very
Every
visually
choice matters.
striking. Yeah, every choice matters.
Every choice matters, and they all lead to the exact same ending.
And they all lead
One of
to
three.
bad ending or good ending. Yeah, I hope it pans out. It'll be cool. The other
I
one
like
that
stuff that does interesting things with narrative. I don't think that that's one of them, just based on like first glance,
yeah.
because that's just so hard to pull off. But if they do it, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. I felt similar to this the way I did to the Annapurna stuff they showed, which was just not my thing at all.
Yeah.
Road 96 was more my thing, but
Yeah,
the Annapurna stuff they showed, I
Annapurna
was
one
like, yeah,
didn't do anything for me this time.
I
yeah,
already forgot it, and I watched this again like 3 times before this
yeah. I
recording.
It
can't
looked
even
like the
forgot
remember.
it
Goose Game
already.
style. That's all I remembered of it.
Yeah, there was one
Yeah,
that was the
very
Goose Game
flat.
style, and another that was a different style, and they were both
Oh.
They
narrative.
should not have lumped all those games together.
They
in
lumped
one
them together, so I
trailer.
forgot about which
That's
one
a
was which.
terrible strategy.
Yeah, it's kind of
And
weird.
it boxes them in too. They're like, here are our cookie cutter games that are so similar in style, we can put them in one trailer.
Yeah, Annapurna
Like,
definitely
yeah.
has a style. They should
sure
have chosen
they-
one and like
Yeah, I'm
Went
sure they
heavy on
stand
it.
apart when they're presented that way. But
Yeah.
they're really setting themselves into a trap when they say, here's our games of the expected style. There they are. You know?
There's gonna be troll posts in a few years saying looks like an Annapurna game.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God.
It's like all the homogenous studio memes. You
Well,
know?
they're like, what? Aren't they like not? They're not like specifically a games studio. They do like movies or stuff too, or something.
What?
Like Annapurna. Something about.
Annapurna Interactive?
Well, there's Annapurna Interactive, but like Annapurna in general does like other
Oh.
stuff. I think.
I don't know, because Annapurna feels like the A24 of video games sometimes.
The what?
A24
Pardon?
is like a movie studio. They make like
Oh.
Yeah.
A24 is the Annapurna of the film
Oh
industry,
my God.
basically.
I could be pulling that out of my ass, but I swear there was something about like Annapurna in general, besides their interactive thing.
I forgot to write this one down, but there was a weird
There is an Annapurna picture.
point and click adventure game that's 500 days real time.
Oh, the longing.
Yeah,
that
I don't think
shadow
I would like to
dropped.
play that game, but I
It's-
like the
it's-
style of it.
It's not. It's one of those games that. All right. Full disclosure: this has been sitting in my Steam library for 6 months. I have not played it, so I don't know. I haven't even started day one. But from what looking I've had, if you like start the game and then just leave it for 500 days, yeah, it would take that long. But if you actively play the game, you will, and you progress, you find stuff that shortens that time, to which the actual length to beat the game is like 10 to 15 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's like hardcore Animal Crossing.
I will also add your
Yes.
character moves like molasses in the game,
Yeah.
and I've been told that that's the point. But
It's
visually very
definitely
interesting.
one
and
of
I wanna
those
play it.
artsy fartsy, and I'm proud of it kind of games. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in a demeaning way. I do like those kind of games.
Yeah, great art style, like really creepy and pretty.
Yeah. Definitely not something that I would be into, I think. But it's out now, so you can try it.
Yeah.
Along with Fez, and I think there was one more Shadow Drop, wasn't there?
I think
I
that's
can't.
it.
I can't recall. Okay, maybe it was just those two.
Light on Shadow. Like the last last Indie World had 1 million Shadow Drops.
Yeah.
Like I bought like 5 games that day.
Oh God, yeah. I buy indie games. I wait for physicals on certain indie games. Depends on what it is. So like I'm so behind. Like I haven't played Blaster Master Zero yet because I just got the cart of that not that long ago. One last game I want to mention really quick. Weaving Tides. It was in that end of the show, like quick cut trailer. It was the one that was like looked like you were a bird, but like also sewing. Like I don't know what is going on with that, but it looked really cool.
Is that the 3D one or?
It's like top down. Well, it's not top
Okay.
down. It's like behind. It's weird. It's like it's yeah. I don't know how to describe the camera angle on that one, but yeah, it's like I don't know. You like weave up and down through like holes, and it's like looks like fabric or strings or something. I don't know what's going on with it. I wish they showed that instead of like Annapurna's Nightmare. But that's just me. So we're coming down to the end of the episode now. So I wanted to talk about real quick, what are some indie games that you guys that aren't out yet, that you are excited for, and that they're not necessarily in indie world, just stuff in general.
Umaragi Generation.
Okay, so what is that?
10,000%. It is the most elaborate photography game I have ever played. Given the art style and the presentation, it feels wrong to call it a sim, like a photography sim, but it takes that stuff seriously. And I don't know enough about photography to say it's like the real thing, but
yeah, like it's authentic.
It seems much more legit than any photography thing I've ever played in a game. Like much more intense than like Beyond Good and Evil. It does capture some of the fun
of photography.
Yeah.
You mean it's not like Pokemon Snap?
No, it's also it's a game that does a really good job at crafting a story just through world design and just how, without actually having anything going on, and just you looking at stuff and piecing together the piece, or putting together the pieces, shall we say? And it looks like Jet Set Radio, and anything that looks like that.
Oh. See that kind of reminds me of one they showed in that last compilation. I don't even remember the name of it, but it was another one where like you were some girl going through like an environment and she like took pictures. I remember that it didn't run particularly well. I don't for the life of me remember what it was because it was really quick. But I like the idea of photography games.
It also has a really, really good soundtrack by Thor High Heels on YouTube, and it's just a great game. I don't know when it is supposed to come out. The developer on Twitter was teasing the indie world as if it was going to be announced then, and then was acting all disappointed when it wasn't announced. So
weird.
I don't know.
Strange.
But publishers are weird like that, I guess. But yeah, it's supposed to come out this year still. I'm hopeful. There's going to be a new creative type mode specifically for the Switch release. And it'll probably come to other PC as an update. But yes, please check out the game when it comes out.
It's one I really want. I played the demo and enjoyed it and heard great things about the
creative mode? Like what's
the
difference?
The way the levels work is that it's kind of like a scavenger hunt, I guess. You get plopped into the area. You go around. You got to take pictures of, say, 5 markers, 2 of them red, and they have to. And then you take the picture of the shot of just that, and
yeah, it's like photography I Spy.
Yeah, exactly. And there's also other stuff like collectible film canisters, and you can make sure you can't take pictures of like this weird jelly glass type thing, otherwise you lose points. Anyways, the creative mode, I'm thinking it just allows for more freedom for taking full advantage of the photography aspect of it. So you can place assets maybe or something like that. I haven't looked too much into it. I just saw that there's a creative mode coming tweet.
Yeah, at the very least, like probably like you can kind of freely take pictures and not worry about objectives and stuff, I would imagine.
At least I know like no clip mode would be great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And also obviously Pokemon Snap is coming, and that I'm glad that like it's not releasing next to that because that would suck, I think.
Yeah.
So it's cool that hopefully it'll come a little later this year. I know some of the ones they showed in previous indie directs or in general that I'm still excited about are Axiom Verge 2, Boyfriend Dungeon, because that's just wonderful. That's the game where you date your weapons basically.
Yes. Okay, I really want to play that.
Yeah.
That sounds really fun.
I tried 30XX at PAX. I haven't played 20XX, but I liked what I played at 30XX. It's kind of it's very Mega Man like, or Mega Man X like, and it was fun. It has co-op, and I felt like the co-op just didn't add anything whatsoever because one person was basically doing everything anyway. Um, but there's that. There's another Sega indie game, which is the Alex Kidd remake, which looks smooth. I'm curious how that'll go. Um, and then, most importantly, this isn't a game, but DLC for Streets of Rage 4.
Yes.
Um,
I
yeah,
cannot wait for that.
so they showed the trailer a little bit before this indie world, and the first character that's in is who was the first character they had? I already forgot.
Estelle?
Oh yeah, yes, Estelle, who was really cool in the original game. Looks like there's a lot of new areas, new weapons, new music. Um, Maybe that's where I got the T-Lopes thing from. Is that?
Yes, I think
Yes,
for the
that's
DLC he's doing music.
yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, T-Lopes is doing new tracks for the DLC.
Didn't they
Um,
say something about like a new mode too, like a horror mode or something?
I think they said survival mode,
That sounds yeah.
something like that. I don't totally know how some of the stuff fits because it seems like some of the stuff that they're adding is like strictly like like just like the paid DLC. Other stuff
Right.
feels like it fits into the main game, so I kind of see that as like maybe they're doing a free update alongside of it. Because like the new areas and stuff don't really have a place to live right now unless they're like survival mode only or something. I don't totally
I
know.
can
The
see
other
them
two
adding a couple
characters
two
too.
extra episodes just with the DLC.
Yeah, I mean, I could see like maybe branching paths or something too could be kind of neat. I
That
mean,
would be great.
those secret areas are already like kind of mini branching paths, but like actual like side areas would be cool. That game is so good. That's like one of my games of like it's that and Animal Crossing are my like games of the year last year. So, um, and they showed one of the characters. There's two more coming. I'm not gonna say who I think they are, even though I think it's pretty obvious. But
Yeah.
um, looks cool. Did anyone else have anything?
I'm waiting for Spelunky 1 and 2 to finally come to a portable system so I can
Yeah.
finally lay my Vita to rest.
Those are games
No,
that
but
I
I'm really
wanted
hyped
to
for
play.
Spelunky 2. It is. I bought it on the PS4, but like I love that game, but just that kind of roguelike I can really only enjoy thoroughly on a handheld system. That's just my own hang up. But that is definitely a day one buy for Spelunky 2.
I
Yeah,
really want
they're both
that.
great
Yeah,
games.
I want a combination cart of Spelunky 1+2 to own
Yes.
and love. I haven't gotten the chance to play Spelunky much yet, so
You'd like it.
yeah, I know I would. It's just, you know.
Two
All
has
right.
great online. It was added in a later patch, but it's very
Oh,
good.
right. I forgot they added that because the first one doesn't
Is
have
it good?
online, right?
Yeah. It's much better than Spelunky 1 multiplayer just because you can just freely explore the level and you don't have to be tied to the same screen.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
The
All right,
Vita
well,
version of Spelunky 1, was like that. You could
oh, go
just
ahead.
freely explore, but no one had a Vita, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I'm thankful as of this recording, the Sony stores are staying up, at least Vita and PS3, so I don't have to.
As of this recording.
As of this
Yeah.
Breaking
I'm
news.
just saying, which I'm very happy about, and is good news for indies on there
Jim Ryan
too.
just says never mind tomorrow, lol.
Jim Ryan's like, nah, we lied, fooled you. So I don't have to go panic and get a bunch of stuff on those stores now, so that should free my budget up a bit. But yeah, so was there any last words from anybody? Anybody want to point anything out that we haven't talked about yet?
Not on my end.
Barry?
Video games.
Video games.
Video games. Noise?
I'm Noise.
Yeah?
That's
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
in that case, yeah, thank you everyone for the talk. Thank you, Noise, for joining us today as our special guest. Hopefully we'll have more for you very soon, but until next time, this has been the Nintendo Pipeline. Video games.